The Rivian R2 is the most exciting EV to hit North America since the Model Y started shipping to customers all the way back in March 2020. What a time that was, right? Now, approximately 6 years later, we finally get a new and compelling option for a 2-row, 5-seat, 300-plus mile range EV at a more affordable price. But if you're looking for an electric SUV soon, it may not be the slam dunk you'd imagine. With the best-selling Rivian R1S ready and available, now with some excellent post-tax credit incentives, you have a few things to consider. So let's figure out which one is right for you. Let's break down when it makes sense to wait for R2 or jump on one of these R1S deals now so you can make an educated decision and get the right vehicle for your specific needs. First, why is there so much hype behind the Rivian R2? Originally announced in March 2024, Rivian showed off the R2 that checked all the boxes for most buyers and what they're really looking for. 2 rows, 5 seats, SUV form factor, 300 plus miles of range, and a $45K starting price just under the national average of $50K. And while the R2 has a notably lower starting price than the best-selling R1S, which starts at $76,990, it still kept the DNA that makes Rivian so fun to drive and actually live with day to day. Plus, we're expecting the R2 to improve in a few areas that Rivian has lagged with the R1S, battery thermals and audio quality being the most notable. So if some weaknesses improve and the price drops, what's not to like? Well, for starters, the R2 still isn't shipping to customers and won't be for at least a few more months. Then, even when it does, it will take a while to be widely available as Rivian works to scale up manufacturing. They won't be able to go from 0 units to tens of thousands overnight. Next is the price. While the R2 is still expected to offer a starting trim at $45K eventually, that is likely not going to be available for a year or more after the initial models roll off the factory line. The initial builds are more likely to be well-equipped dual-motor, large battery trims in the $55 to $60K range to help Rivian's cash burn when production is still extremely constrained. It's clear that the R2 is going to be the volume seller for Rivian, but it's going to take some time to get all the available price points met and to work out some of those early production kinks. And if you need more than 5 seats, the R2 will never be the vehicle for you. Real quick, if you're enjoying this comparison, consider signing up for my free Rivian Recap newsletter, where you get the latest Rivian, EV, and autonomy news every Friday directly to your inbox. You can sign up for free by using the link below or scanning this QR code. So, how does the Gen 2 Rivian R1S, which is actually available today, stack up against the all-new R2? As I noted in my recent one-year review, Rivian got a lot right with the Gen 2 R1S. From a ruggedly nice interior to a rapidly improving software situation, the R1S is easily one of the best vehicles we've ever owned. It made our summer road trip of 5,230 miles really enjoyable, even with the current limitations, which only really rear their head in the most extreme edge cases. Plus, the added length that the 3-row size offers for someone tall like me is extremely valuable when trying to camp in the vehicle. Camping in the car is something I never thought I'd actually be interested in, but with the help of a high-quality mattress like our much-beloved Xped Megamat Auto, it beats out many hotels for comfort. This is also a great example of how the air suspension, which is unique in the R1S and will not be available for the R2, has real utility beyond just increasing off-road capability or improving range. Camp mode has a self-leveling feature, so you're sleeping on an even platform and you stay comfortable running the HVAC to keep you the perfect temperature all night long. You'll also have the option of a much larger battery in the R1S than we will ever see in a far smaller R2, enabling up to 410 miles of range in the largest battery configuration of the R1S. Coupled with the native NACS port for the 2026 model year, you can also plug into compatible Tesla superchargers adapter-free, which is the default network for us on road trips. The number one reason someone would think twice about the R1S isn't hard to figure out. It's price. The Rivian R1S is the flagship SUV from Rivian, and as such, it is larger and comes with even more unique features than the smaller sibling is ever going to have. Here in November 2025, though, the flagship R1S may be more affordable than you think. Checking the Rivian offers page is a bit like Charlie from Always Sunny, putting together a conspiracy theory, but fear not, I can help you get to the ones that are the most interesting. While all remaining 2025 inventory is available for 1.99% financing, the sneaky thing right now is that my suggested trims after 1 year with the Gen 2 R1S are also incentivized for 2026. For example, the 2026 dual standard R1S is actually cheaper to lease than the 2025 model. And even more shocking is this lease price is actually lower than it was when the EV tax credit was available. Thank you, money factors. If you need more range and are going for a dual max, the performance variant comes with a lease cash of $6,500, which covers your down payment on the lease altogether. And if you're buying, you can actually scoop up a Tri-Max R1S with the same 1.99% financing, even on the current 2026 model year. These three trims make access to a luxury 3-row electric SUV more attainable than ever. And if you're going for the dual motor variants, make sure that you add the premium audio upgrade, as I personally think the base sound system is unacceptable at this price point. I've added links for the 3 suggested trims and options down in the description. Plus, if you use my referral code, you'll get credit towards the gear shop for accessories and 3 full months of unlimited charging on the Rivian Adventure Network. Now, some of you may be thinking about autonomy. This is likely doubly true if you're coming from an existing Tesla, like we did when we bought our Gen 2 Rivian R1S and R1T. As of November 2025, Rivian is both very behind Tesla and they are rapidly improving in meaningful ways. We are getting a full AI and autonomy day in December that should show off what we can expect to see from Rivian Autonomy soon, including hands-on, or more accurately, hands-off demos of what they have working in the lab. It seems pretty clear that Gen 2 Rivians and the upcoming R2 are going to be quite capable in terms of autonomy. The last few updates for autonomy specifically have vastly improved cut-in behavior, lane change performance, and expanded the hands-free area by 50%. And while Rivian has explicitly stated that R2 is going to launch with slightly improved cameras and even more compute for autonomy on board versus R1, I don't actually think the practical real-world use will be all that different between these specific implementations. If we take a look at the underlying stack that Rivian is using from NVIDIA, it also seems very likely that we are going to see a far greater leap in, say, a year or so of way more compute, as well as the potential for additional sensors such as LiDAR. But that's going to be a lot further off than the launch edition versions of R2. If you don't care about autonomy, then you lose nothing with the Gen 2 R1S. But if you do, I don't think you're going to gain much more from R2 for at least a year, with a more dramatic departure from the currently announced autonomy stacks. So, which one of these is right for you? If you think the R1S is too large for your needs, you don't need the extra range that a bigger battery pack offers, or the extra capability that comes with the air suspension, then the R2 is the obviously right choice for you. However, if you would benefit from having more than 5 seats, the added range and capability, or even something as simple as more interior room for car camping, then I would consider the attractive lease and financing offers currently available for the R1S. Right now you can secure either 1.99% financing or improved lease terms on what I consider the best R1S trims. I have links in the description for my suggested builds, and don't forget that by using my referral link, you'll get credit for the gear shop for accessories as well as 3 months of free charging on the Rivian Adventure Network. We are unlikely to see these attractive finance or lease deals for the high-demand R2 for a while production can catch up with the backlog of demand. And by the time we do, the R2 is likely to have the initial production kinks worked out, as well as an upgraded autonomy suite for even more capable self-driving features. So for some of you, the best move might be to enjoy a great deal on the 2026 Gen 2 R1S until the R2 has had more time to bake in terms of production issues, autonomy, and attractive financing deals. At the end of the day, it really comes down to 2 things: form factor and incentives. Only you can decide which form factor works best for your needs based on size and capability, and then weigh that against your current financial situation. If this breakdown helped you out, hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps the channel out and lets me keep making videos like this so we can grow the Rivian community together. If you're looking for a deep dive on the Gen 2 R1S, here's my candid 1-year review. Until next time, stay curious.